Hello and welcome to race 2 of WTCL. This is the second race from Fuji, and I'm here in the commentary box with Ethan and Joseph. And yeah, we are starting race right now. As you can see, Perez is in the pole. Lorenzo is on second.
Away they go.
Here we go.
Ooh, Perez has got on a good one there.
Yeah. Look at Rodriguez, who is now up to third.
So looks like he could be a little bit of a sitting duck potentially. To move maybe? Nope. But yes, having a little look at the inside.
Oh,
But Perez has gone through.
yep.
These
Yeah.
front two we should be keeping an eye on. Perez was doing a fairly good job yesterday. And Lorenzo came from last to 15th. So they've both got solid cars. The question
Indeed.
is, can the likes of Torres, oh goodness, I can't remember his name. Wolfgang, Wisen, and the sort get up through the field, potentially even Mendes. Because if they don't get up through quick enough, these two may run away with it.
May.
May indeed.
Lorenzo's already bumping Perez.
I was about to say,
someone's in the wall.
Again, the recording car.
Now we're coming up to a very difficult bit. Some cars were making errors over this curve yesterday, and it was taking cars out the race. It doesn't seem like anyone's gone off yet.
Yet. Oh.
Ryzen's making the move, the last corner.
Or exit.
Not gone the run there, but already Wyson and Torres.
And it's
6 and 7.
Boucher.
Oh no!
Boucher. Oh no!
And it's again an engine problem with the Renault.
Yesterday's debut assault winner.
Yes, it was Van der Linde. Yesterday we had the same issue.
Oh, what a shame. We know when that car can keep it clean, that Boucher can win the races, as proved.
The car tipped on the curb.
Just went too much on lap 1, and it's cost him now yet there.
And the engine's on fire now.
And yeah, the damage was too much.
Ooh.
Continue.
Our first retirement on lap 1. I feel this could be a recurring theme during this season.
It could well be.
Yeah, the fight is on.
So after one lap, I think the top
Third
5
place
has
could be a fight.
had their positions.
Ooh, someone's having a look there. But Rodriguez slips back in behind.
Yeah, Rodriguez really wants to get on the podium. Axon's being attacked by Torres and
Ooh, up the inside, Corleone.
Yeah.
Where's Bison gone? Oh, he's dropped back.
He's behind the increase.
He may have had a bit of contact at turn 1, I'm probably thinking.
Corleone, of course, he came from 17th to finish 5th yesterday.
Oh, somebody was really wide there. Let's go there.
The MV cars are not having a fun time at the start of this race.
Look at Zimmerman just going for it.
Alazine's up 3 places from the start. Ooh, just falling back.
Out of the corner. Now I was saying this too.
This is the danger of getting caught up in the pack. You'll get absolutely swallowed alive if you make the slightest of mistakes.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Lorenzo looks like there could be a run here. Will he have a look? No, he's being patient.
Yeah, also, Rodriguez overtaking Ovanessi for the third position. and Ryan is catching up to them.
Seems that Hackinson is holding up the likes of Torres, Ryson, Corleone, Mendez. How quickly can these guys get past Hackinson?
Already in the points. Yeah, he started from 15 and now it's up to 12.
Oh, someone's wide. Torres! Oh no, he's running in 7th there. It looks like he's got a little bit of damage on one of the rear panels, maybe?
Yeah, I thought Hackinson's off.
Hackinson's on.
Did he hit the curb?
Surely he must have. It's not really a place someone make an overtake attempt, so surely.
It's in that part of the track as well.
Yeah, disaster for ice off racing so far.
Torres might have had a bit of contact there in the background.
Yep.
Just caught it.
Just like his teammate. Except he got away a bit luckier this time.
I can't remember who did it yesterday, but someone did a near identical spin.
Axon got a job to do. He got back into the points and saved some points after the spin.
Team's got a draft here.
Yeah, he's really close to Lina. There up front.
Someone's gone up the inside up front. There goes Thompson on Zimmerman. A little Bargy, and it seems the fight's on. I think Zimmerman will have this. He's got the inside of Charlotte Thompson coming into turn 2.
Thompson just didn't get out of turn 1 particularly fast.
That's the danger of going down the inside at some of these corners. If you don't get the job done quick enough, you won't get the run.
And then you're vulnerable.
Exactly. Will Hennessy have a look heading down into this corner? Looks a bit far back to do it. And Hennessy will not make the move.
That's also doing a very good job. Qualified for 13th and now is fighting for the podium. And also in the first race scored points. So he and Lorenzo and Ryan behind, who was 41st, I think. Yeah. No, it was 28. They are doing a really good job this weekend. And oh,
Well, what happened to Leicester?
Leicester is smoking.
Well, of course, was having a good race until
Hear me now,
having to retire due to mechanical issues yesterday. And it's another mechanical issue for Leicester. And I think it was the engine that went on him yesterday as well.
Yes, it's the same issue.
So
it's smoking again.
another engine issue for Leicester.
Absolute nightmare start to the season for this rookie, who's shown so much, perhaps a bit of surprise talent. Qualified 4th and was up in 2nd when he retired in the first race.
Yeah, felt he probably could have won that race.
Yeah, he kept his nose clean up to that point.
You saw how crucial that was for about so.
Also interested to see what happened here, you know. Missing the front of the car.
suffered some damage down at this corner.
Yes. Oh, there we go. So what happened to Camino?
Oh,
Oh, and just couldn't get on the brakes quick enough. Or overtake.
Outbroken himself there.
Yeah.
maybe it's the same issue as the BMWs like
And
yesterday.
it was worse. So.
Yeah. These style of slightly more bigger cars, they're very good on the straightaways, but it seems they're struggling a lot with braking on these harsh braking points.
It's all quiet in the top 5.
Yeah, not really much going on.
And Twisted now, escaping from the two BMWs behind.
Very close here. Linkvist wants to just get away. Corleone want Linkvist. Mendez want to get onto Corleone. And perhaps Torres can get Bryson. Can anyone get a good draft down here?
At the moment, Torres or Bryson.
Perhaps. Not close enough though.
And they are now closely behind Mendes.
Oh, Ballison has just gone wide there. The out the way.
Collagen is out of the race.
That was.
There. Just
That's a weird one.
Perhaps something broke, is what I'm thinking.
But it might be a suspension failure.
I think I'd have to agree with you, I guess, there.
Going along nicely and then.
Oh. Very odd place for it to let go.
Yeah, really interesting.
That's a strange one.
Seems to have just broken when coming on the brakes.
We've seen the end of the race what happened to Rajin. But we know that he's out.
No. Both yesterday's winner and runner-up have both retired.
I was about to praise Ballison. He was just keeping an eye on the battles ahead, then it's out. Meanwhile,
Platinum Scala working together. Oh, and Lin is really fast, I think.
Lim in the Honda might just dive for it here.
There's a
Very
yellow
fast.
flag somewhere on track. Oh, a look up front. Nikolev's lost out there.
What a big frame.
Look at this. Look at that train.
Oh, and this is down to 7.
Of course, the Hennessy who started third.
Yeah, but he was fighting for the podium. Now it dropped down, right? Wonder what happened to the Irishman.
Firmino had
coming out of the pit lane.
comes out and Hennessy came out worst off.
Yeah, he got collected by Firmino.
That was very poor. A rookie mistake by Firmino.
Oh, and now Hennessy's gone wide at the chicane. This is not a good lap for the Irishman at all.
Yeah, he's nearly out.
4 to 11.
It looked as though there may have been a bit of contact there.
Thompson, who started from 20, I think. 23rd. Now, up to 9th. She's doing a really good job so far.
Very good drive by Charlotte Constant so far. Indeed. Perhaps, with a bit of luck, and the pace she's currently going at, maybe Thompson can get up into the podium places. Thompson's having a look now into turn 2 on Torres and through. Firmino is really causing an issue, like Ndai was in race 1. And oh, Corleone's off.
Corleone is really slow. There, Thompson, what is she doing?
Oh,
Wyson's gone right through the middle of the pack there and gain a load of time and places.
Really nice, creating entertaining race for us. Meanwhile, Perez has built a comfortable lead over Lorenzo.
I don't think that these faster guys will be able to get through the traffic of the slower cars quick enough to be able to challenge Perez here. I think if nothing goes wrong, this could be a comfortable lights the flag race.
Yeah,
2 seconds clear. Absolutely storming it around in front.
yeah, 6 seconds to Ryan, who is 4th.
Lindvis, who's like just ahead of some of the bigger names, is 8 seconds behind at this stage.
I am very surprised that Rodriguez and Ryan have not fell back as much as they possibly could have. But Mendes, Corleone and Bison, as well as Torres, are now 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, and they are all very quick cars. Potentially, I think Bison could have Corleone here.
He might try dive in the next corner.
That's the slipstream.
Here we go. Battle for 7th.
Fighting
He's waiting
is
for the
time.
better opportunity.
Perhaps hoping that Corleone will be held up by Firmino.
Yeah, that's very likely. Yeah. Also, Firmino will not let them pass. That's a good chance for Bison to go through.
Sometimes absolutely terrible exit that he will have in the slipstream.
Oh,
Oh,
Rodriguez closed up the gap to Lorenzo.
but is now 2.9 seconds ahead of these two. Lorenzo must have made a mistake. They get a good exit is the question.
Maybe now in turn 10, Rodriguez.
Had a look, but tried going to the outside. That's not the place he wants to try and make an overtake.
Oh, Rodriguez dropped back a bit.
Oh.
Lorenzo
Very lucky not to roll it over there for Lorenzo.
Yeah. He somehow catched it. And keep it on the track without rolling and crashing into the barrier.
Surely Rodriguez is going to get Lorenzo here. He's got the slipstream. He's got a car that's seemingly a lot better in a straight line. Though he's not gaining that much, actually. Very concerning. I thought he was going to catch up a lot more than he did.
Yeah. And Zirin hitting.
Zimmerman stuck in fourth gear.
It's like Zirin has an issue.
It
Might
looks
be the end of his
another
race.
gearbox issue coming out of that last turn like Travaillon had in race 1.
Limping into the pit.
Yeah, that's end of the race for Zimmerman. Yeah, they're good race, but that's the end.
Out of the race.
Yeah. Oh, and I sit down to 15 now.
Wow. Starting third. Had a teammate who finished in the top 5 yesterday. Now,
This is the danger of making mistakes in such a highly competitive series, because you will be swallowed whole by the approaching 32 cars.
Thompson nearly losing the back end over the curb.
Some brilliant car control to keep it on the ground there by Thompson.
We've seen a couple of drivers just lose the back end there, and then they're on the back foot.
These drivers are definitely trying to take as much of the turn as
Are
possible.
we going to have any... Is Rodriguez going to do it into turn 1 on Lorenzo?
Not yet.
I thought, surely they have to go for it there.
The Chevrolets and the BMWs were definitely very strong in the straightaways in race 1. So it definitely seems. I don't really know. I think Rodriguez might be going very conservative here in trying to overtake Lorenzo, and this might not be a good strategy. Because potentially, if he gets past Lorenzo, he could have a chance of winning. Oh, and Lichtsteiner is out.
I've parked it.
It looks like some kind of reliability issue.
Could be.
At the end of this race.
Right. I don't look on NLC. Okay, so it's not a gearbox issue. That is a strange one.
Ooh, that was a very scary incident.
The car just just went left. Wait, did he turn himself left into the wall?
Yeah, I think he tried to get off the track because he noticed that he got an issue with the car.
It's a very weird one for Lichtsteiner.
It's veered very suddenly. I'm surprised that not even at the breaking point. So I'm surprised anything would have broken at that point, really.
And on the looking at the onboard inside the cockpit, it almost looked like he turned the car left. Which makes it even weirder.
It's one that perhaps we may learn some answers of post-race.
At the moment, I'm clueless. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the second incident we had, which are very interesting.
I'm very surprised that Perez is not really pulling out as much of an advantage in these laps while Lorenzo and Rodriguez are having a fight. But it looks like he's got a run now. Oh, no,
Rodriguez is just not committing.
no. It seems like just holding back a bit.
You also mentioned Perez not getting a gap. He's like 3 seconds ahead.
I think he's trying to use Lorenzo for the slipstream and hoping he's going fast enough for the turns that he's not losing that much time for it.
And also, I think Rodriguez realising that all the other cars have been caught up in traffic that are dangerous. He can kind of just sit there in third for a bit. I mean, Ryan's 3 seconds behind, and Mendes is a further 2.5 seconds behind Ryan, so...
I do not think that Ryan will be holding on to that 4th place for long. He has got some of the fastest cars on the grid chasing him down at this point.
Oh, for sure.
Who's going to get the run here?
That is the question.
It seems that Lorenzo's had a bit of a better exit, but we know the strength of that slipstream down this front straight at Fuji.
Indeed.
Now.
Catching, but is he going to go out? I don't. Yeah, see the brake lights on there. He's not wanting to pull out. He's wanting to try, potentially look at turn 1, but it doesn't.
He's just not
I don't-
close enough.
It's a very odd one. I don't know why you'd be trying to brake down the straightaway, because it would only be losing him time.
Yeah, he's playing really safe here. Doesn't want to crash. Maybe lose this podium position.
Perhaps he could be trying to save fuel or tyres behind Lorenzo, maybe.
Yeah.
It would make sense. It is what they do at especially high-speed parts of tracks and things like IndyCar. Oh, Lorenzo went a little deep there. Not enough for Rodriguez to pounce.
And that's...
Oh,
Cordova's stuck in first gear.
Oh, the BMW has so much issues with the gearbox and the brakes. Oh, that's
this
unfortunate.
could be a bad sign for BMW going for the rest of the season, especially during the endurance races, of which we'll be going to next, Bathurst.
Yeah. That's also interesting if Cordova can reach the pit box before the Fiat.
But look at that, man. Just looking behind him. Oh, is he going to go for it now?
Rodriguez finally trying a move.
And a contact didn't...
Oh, terrible exit. He's
Didn't
given...
work out for the Mexican.
If you look behind, Mendes is getting closer to Ryan. So Rodriguez might have to get a move along
Who's
here.
on the tail of Mendes there?
I don't know. Lindvis.
Lindqvist could be gaining a lot out of being behind Mendes here.
Because Mendes is one of the faster cars.
Well, Mendes did get on pole.
And then, unfortunately the race didn't quite go to plan, but... But yeah, I mean, to be fair, Lindvis got 4th yesterday. Look at that, Lemon. Oh,
Oh, he's
he's
over!
on! Oh, you have to fill for Lorenzo.
That surely is the end of Lorenzo's race now. Well, maybe he will try to continue. He is continuing, but he's lost a lot of time.
He's down to
there.
8th, and that's his hope to a podium gone.
Oh, Scar looks really strange.
He's had such a good. He was having such a good race up to that point, holding P2. Such a good performance in race 1, and he's just blown it. Took too much of it. And now, will that mean that Rodriguez can start chasing down Perez?
That was exactly what I was just thinking.
Yeah, but in the end,
Keep an eye on the gap.
vote
Then
out
does this
for-
mean if Mendes can get past Ryan and have a clean car with Rodriguez, could Mendes potentially be in for a potential victory at this stage?
that it worked out for Rodriguez. He played it safe and could stay Lorenzo over it. He was trying really hard to escape from Rodriguez.
It seems as though in this second race, these drivers are not racing each other as hard. They will be doing a longer stint than they were doing in the first race though, so they may be trying to conserve tyres and fuel.
Indeed.
Why isn't it pulling out? That's a really good exit out of that corner. Firmino still holding up Torres and
Toledo doing what India did yesterday.
yeah, at least on the 8th it covers an incident. Corlan's up to the inside. They banked wheels and but Corlan got a reverse exit.
I'm thinking that Lorenzo has lost a lot of pace in that car from that accident because it seems like he's holding up that pack much more than the lap car is. Oh, Corleone having up to the outside, but that's more close you can overtake. Although he's having a look up the inside now. He's going for it, and I think he's going to have this. The inside in that corner is pretty much unbeatable, and Torres is also going now on Lorenzo, and he's passed both me and Lorenzo. And Singh could be past Lorenzo here, and he is.
Lorenzo is dropping back, I think.
Thompson's now having a go at Lorenzo. Oh, this race has properly gone for Lorenzo.
Lorenzo gets caught on the curve and just about in his mouth. Torres.
Oh, what a shame.
Torres who had just got past all that traffic.
This
I've got
is
to do it again.
Nightmare race for Stoffel Autosport. They were so quick, qualified 2nd and 4th, and they were fighting for the win in race 1. And it seems like they were a bit punchy in race 2 as well. But they've just blown it. The reliability, that many errors by Torres, and you wouldn't expect that from a driver of his caliber.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly have pace. It's just not quite gone to plan yet for them. Now it's not even certain if they'll actually score any points at this rate.
Can Bison fight back? Not yet.
That MV racing car is a very nice looking car with that sponsorship particularly. He's got a run. Will he have a look? I see a little bit braking there. But he's chosen to stick behind.
For now.
He's perhaps learned his mistake from yesterday where that damage cost him.
And Singh has now got past Firmino, so Singh who obviously has a Volkswagen, could he potentially start catching up?
We know that car is absolutely lightning quick, and Torres has been
Oh, Torres, just
hunted out the way by Bavigno. He seems a lot slower. Is something going on for Torres? You can see a bit of damage there to the rear left potentially. Perhaps he has an issue like his teammate, because he looks like he's just slowed down so much, and he doesn't look like he's sustained that much damage either.
you just have to feel the stuff or Autosport, don't you? Really, they got the pace, but not reliability, of course, for Leicester. And Torres is just unreliable.
That could be a very bad sign for the endurance race coming up. We know they've got a very good endurance racer in Rosebacken. But and Rosebacken, we're definitely wanting to do a lot as she goes to her home race. But it just seems though, I fear this is exactly what happened last season. They had a lot of pace still when they were with Audi, and you just saw constant failures and errors that were just costing them so many points.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about just sheer pace, it's about being able to get the car home in one piece, and some drivers are just able to do it better than others. Some teams are just able to do it better, and whilst they may not be the quickest in the timesheets come the race, they're right in the hunt for podiums and win. So
we saw that exactly yesterday when we had the likes of Mariette Boucher.
That Lindqvist is on the back of Mendes, who we thought was going to pull away and go after Ryan.
Lindqvist has been very clever here. The draft is just so important. It gains you about, I'd probably say at least, even if you're not holding back a bit, probably at least 3, 4, 5 tenths. It is very important, and if you have it, you'll get more gains. And seems Mendes is catching up to Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Without.
Only about, what, a second, just over a second behind Ryan now, Mendes, and then Lindqvist. Corley and Vice are 4.5 seconds behind him. So, at the moment, it's like these top 5 are clear, really, of anything else.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a good fight for the podium.
Oh, for sure.
Is Lindqvist, though, going to try and make a move now, or is he going to wait until Mendes is on the back of Ryan and potentially held up?
For a 2-for-1, perhaps.
No, but I think Ryan's been slowing down a bit, maybe saving some fuel, because he really dropped back in the last few laps. Yes, might be now start to push now as Mendes is catching up.
Right, into the
How close is Rodriguez in relation to Perez?
2.5 seconds behind. He's not kicked at all.
3 tenths, but he's only done so in about
What? It's a bit
5 laps. I don't think he's got the pace yet. I think Perez will have this comfortably unless there is an error or a reliability issue.
Well, we know reliability issues can be a thing. The lack of reliability does not necessarily favour those out in front, as we have seen yesterday and today.
What's also daunting is that he is driving that BMW that has had so many issues this weekend, particularly with the brakes.
Yeah. I mean, it would just be heartbreak, wouldn't it? I wonder if Lindqvist is just being held up a bit. Or is Sander? Well, I think retired yesterday.
Engine's gone there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you see, I think I see a bit of smoke coming out even then. Yeah.
A brake failure yesterday for Xcander. It looks like a different component has gone today.
It looks like his engine is going up there.
This has really not been a good weekend for the Rotel Motors team.
Especially for Iskander.
They qualified 25th and 28th, double DNF in the first race. Iskander out in the second.
We also have to consider this is one of the tracks which is a bit easier on the cars. When you start going to the likes of Spa and Le Mans, it's going to get a lot more stressful on these components. And if they are going like they are now, it could get we could see a lot of retirement.
We might genuinely only end up with about 5 finishes, based on how reliability has been on this weekend. That Ryan's been caught right in now by Mendes and Lindqvist. Of course, we know Mendes has got pace, but Lindqvist has been a bit weirder. Didn't do anything in qualifying, and then somehow got into the top 5 in the first race yesterday. Has a chance for a podium here.
I think what Lindqvist reminds me of is a bit what Nicholas Latifi is in F1. He's not very good in qualifying. He doesn't really stand out, but when you see him in the race, you see him generally performing fairly well quietly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we put up the example of keeping your nose clean, but I mean, Lindqvist might be a great example of that. Kept his nose clean yesterday, managed to get a good finish, and he's kept his nose clean today, and he's in a hunt for a podium in a Renault car, which on paper is not one of the quicker on the grid.
I think, potentially, someone like Lindqvist, who does keep his nose clean, who does go about his business quietly, could actually go on...
Oh, there's an incident! Oh, and Ryan! And Lindqvist has got past Mendes. Has Ryan and Mendes had a coming together then? Because I saw they were getting closer.
Yeah, Lindqvist is true.
And Lindqvist is up into third place. But
well, we're talking about keeping your nose clean, and Lindqvist has kept out of trouble in that incident. And now he's gone from 5th to 3rd in the space of a corner.
There's a big lockup there for Ryan.
So Ryan, who of course had a really good race.
There was already some damage on Mendes' car. He's got a lot of damage on that front right corner.
Have they just banked wheels then, or has Ryan genuinely just lost the back end coming over the curb? Ryan's lost it, and Mendes had nowhere to go.
You can see with these curbs, they're slightly raised at just the end of them, and if you go slightly over that,
and then you're straight onto the grass as well. Lindqvist just darting up the inside of Mendes there. Get 3rd.
Very opportunistic, and that is exactly what we thought he was going to do. Take the opportunity of these two fighting to get past, but we know that this Mendes is massively quick down the straights.
No, obviously, I know we like asking questions here. Oh.
He's going for it, but bumping and banging. He's got a slow exit though, and he's going to have the outside.
But that's not the first time this weekend where we see a car look to get a policy moving and they just can't get the exits out of turn 1. Now the next question is, can Lindqvist and Mendes catch up to Rodriguez? It's only about a second behind.
These drivers are being very cautious. If they were to perhaps be a bit more ready just to push that little bit extra, it may result in an accident, but also may mean that they can get past these other cars, particularly in these late braking zones if they get it on early.
Mendes through.
But Will
Obviously, we know Mendes has got the better car. But now the question is, could Mendes go on and catch Rodriguez? Or is there enough time to get anywhere close to Perez?
Rodriguez. I don't think that Rodriguez is going to have the pace. And remember, we're just coming around the final lap. We're just coming around the final corner here. We're going on to our fingers lap. Oh goodness.
22 of 24. I mean, we're getting to the dying stages
22.
now.
I think this is what we saw yesterday. When it reaches 24, that's 24 laps completed. So I think this is going to be now 22 laps. I think we're lap 23 now. Perez has got a huge lead.
Wow.
We saw he was two seconds ahead, but now he's about 6 seconds ahead.
I wonder if Rodriguez has just not had the pace in the car then.
It doesn't seem like he has had the pace, but it doesn't seem like the others have also been going at the pace that Perez had. Perez in the last about 4 laps has gained about 4 seconds on Rodriguez. He's absolutely flying.
I mean, Perez, who, to be fair, Perez got 8th in qualifying, so definitely not slow by any means. I mean, Rodriguez was 26th in qualifying, so, I mean, on that front, not quite as shocking, but still.
Oh, in dive, very loose there. I think a bit of contract from Travaillan, but it seems like they've both gotten away with it there.
Yep.
Now Thompson's going.
Thompson.
Torres.
Defending from Torres, and this could be Babanu through. It is, and it could also be
Brilliant battle here.
And I think it is. He's got the inside there.
Inside.
And Stoffel Autosport, terrible weekend, is not going to end on a high by the looks of it. Torres got mugged.
Maybe Christopher. Yes.
Oh, Thompson's lost time here, and it could be all 3 of these cars back through, and it seems it is, but Thompson right around the outside. What a defense!
Not giving in to Torres at all.
Christopher gains 3 positions in just like 15 seconds.
Thompson has absolutely mugged off Torres there, a driver who was one of the few drivers last season to win a race.
Yep.
This race has certainly shown a lot of confidence from Thompson, and we are now on to the last lap of this race. It looks like there may be a fight for third going on. Oh, Babanu is going for Christopher's.
That's 9th. Will the exit attend the exit?
And Thompson will be having a look now, definitely. This could come into a bit of contact. We saw it happen multiple times in race 1. And and Babanu's gone for a little half.
Great recovery by Babano not to spin the car there.
Lorenzo back in the points now.
Opportunistic from Lorenzo.
Yeah, Lorenzo had a great drive yesterday. Hasn't quite gone to plan this race.
Carleon, Bison, right on the back of Ryan. Will they make an absolute lunge, or will they try and make a run to the line now? We're coming round to the last few corners now. I think that our race leader Perez might be at the last corner now. And he
Let's come on the final corner.
He's gone from pole to the win here, leading every single lap, not conceded the lead even once. What a dominating drive from Amara Perez to win for Esther.
Absolute domination.
Clean drive from Rodriguez.
Rodriguez takes 2nd, and the final podium spot will go to Mendes. Limbus, I think, has finished 4th in both races now.
Mason was having a go at Corleone over the line there.
Yeah, but Corleone in 6th.
Okay, Bison.
7, 8.
Christensen, 9.
Singh started 17th, I believe. He's had a very good and quiet drive there to gain 9 places.
And Torres, who no doubt one of the faster drivers, finishing 11th.
Babinu 16th after he does 10th, maybe, just a lap ago.
Yeah, Babadom had a poor end to the race for sure.
And it also seems like another poor race for Ezio, the reigning champion, who's down in 17th.
Yeah, the Dufour cars are.
Yeah, I mean, it's
really
not
struggling.
at all gone to plan, has it?
Audi are not having a fun time this season.
I mean, look at the first race. The best Audi in the first race was 15th.
Harkins, so just 20.
Oh, Hennessy gone from 3rd to 21st. That is.
I mean, if you want a man who made mistakes this race and was never able to recover, Hennessy.
There has been some poor performances today,
And I
particularly
mean,
these drivers who've made errors. But
yeah,
that is arguably the worst drive of the day.
I'd also like to point out that Hennessy's teammate Lindis was probably one of those drivers who made the least mistakes today. On the other side of the garage, Hennessy making an absolute shocker of it this fight.
That could look very poorly upon O'Hennessy.
Really good race.
Do we know if O'Hennessy is out of contract at the end of the season? Because if he is, these kinds of performances could be risking his seat. And oh goodness, how many retirements?
A lot.
That is 32nd through 24. I see 4 engine failures.
So Lichtsteiner's was a suspension failure.
Yeah, and Balajin was a brake.
Nikolaev retired at some point. I did not see that.
When did
he had brake failure?
Lap 18 apparently, and Rondell also retired later on. So 2 Volkswagens.
Issue for a Volkswagen.
But look at that. All constructors really had issues. I mean, Volkswagen had 3 DNFs. BMW had a couple. Audi, Honda, and Renault all got involved.
And as I said, this is one of the tracks which is lighter on the cars. When we start getting to these very quick and very tight tracks, it's going to be even worse.
Oh, for sure. It's going to be an absolute... It's not even going to be a case of being quick. It's going to be a case of getting the car home in one piece.
Exactly. I think some of these endurance specialists will be doing an absolute world of good for these cars because they need to preserve the life in it.
A really strong drive from Perez, though. Just kind of doing what Mariette did yesterday. Just get the car out in front and able to pull away with good lap times.
And the rest of Lorenzo got the fastest lap for the extra.
But look at the BMWs. Despite this being a sprint race, BMW had 3 cars inside the top 6.
And 4 in the points with Christopher.
We're going about Volkswagen. They only got a best result at 7th. And Audi, again, only just got a point today. Audi really
surprised, to be fair. I think Weissson was very underwhelming. He didn't really make any mistakes. He just didn't have the pace today.
I mean, it's weird, but...
Yeah. And alternatively, some of the BMWs, like sort of Perez and Mendes, had terrible races yesterday because they just caused too much damage to the cars and they lost loads of time repairing it.
The thing about Perez today, though, starting on pole, was able to get a good getaway, was able to see off the early challenges, and then was just able to pull clear as everyone else got caught up in traffic, and Rodriguez just didn't have the pace to go with her. So...
I'm probably thinking he probably had about the second fastest lap of the race. He was very probably close there to a Grand Chelon. If it was not for Lorenzo snatching the fastest lap.
No, it was Lorenzo who got the fastest lap, so Perez misses that by...
That kind of shocks me that Lorenzo got it, because that Audi has not been producing much in the races, to be fair. Like 12th today was their best result.
Yeah.
Of the season.
Yeah, because they didn't even get points. They finished a best of 15th yesterday. So maybe the Audi is like quick, but maybe it's just not consistently quick.
Well, consistency seems to be very key so far in these races. Being consistent, being clean, and I think that may be the talking point of this season. The drivers who can do it will be the ones who are consistent and clean.
Yeah. Also worth noticing that only one Honda finished in the points. Also, Lim was really close, but with Balaji out, I don't think there is a Honda driver who can be capable of scoring strong points.
I'd like to point out, looking at the constructors in the points, BMW, Volkswagen kind of got a lot of points, but then Honda only had one car in the points. Renault got 4th, and nobody else was even inside the top 13. A lot. To that, a lot of the Renaults towards the back of the field.
Honda seems to be having certainly some issues. Most of their cars are really struggling for pace. Ryan, I think, was very lucky that they wasn't swallowed up whole a lot quicker there. But it seems the only Honda driver who seems to have the pace is Balazin.
Yeah. I didn't even know there wasn't particularly any sort of pace, because I don't think Ballison even got points today, did he?
No, he retired. He crashed.
Yeah. Great failure earlier, but Honda and Audi just don't seem to be as quick as the other constructors.
That will be very concerning for them.
But again, you could say that about Renault, because Lindvist aside, Renault have also not particularly done much.
You say that, but yet again, Ice Rock Racing in particular, the likes of Boucher, have had great success, particularly in race 1 when they won.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes Renault even weirder. Sometimes they were like we see with Lindvist, we saw with Barriette that they can get the car up there, but then other times their cars will be out the back. There doesn't seem to be anything, just sort of in the mid ground.
I feel like some of these drivers are lacking the confidence and the decisiveness just to get that extra 10th here and there, or just to make the move, and it is costing them dearly because they're getting held up, they're getting in fights, they're getting damaged because of it, and it's not helping their cause at all.
I mean, you also feel the potential experience comes into this as well. A couple of these drivers raced last year, so they know what to feel. Then others just...
We say this, but some of the drivers from last year have been the ones that have been making the errors. See, for example, Angelino Torres making loads of errors. We've seen Ezio, for example. He has been way off. He wasn't even the fastest Audi in the first race or in the second race.
Yeah, I mean, it is wide open in the title bit at the moment.
It will be a very...
Look at that, five different teams in the top 5. Just wow.
Had a very strong start to the season. They've been on pace in race 1 and 2. They've got a bit lucky, maybe a bit damage here and there. And Corleone's been You've seen a lot of Corleone up at the top, and he's done what Lindvist has done. He's been very quiet about it. He's gone around, done his thing, not made too much of a fuss, and he's getting results. And I think with someone like Perez and Corleone, I think that combination could potentially bring the team's championship to Esther if they can keep up this pace in the other races.
That's if they can keep up the pace. After all, this is only 1 round, and as the year goes on, some teams will be developing faster than others. It might genuinely just be that Audi and Honda are going to start developing later on in the year, and then they'll really quicken. It could just be that they've not put the full package forward yet.
Potentially, there's definitely going to be a development race, and I think the teams last season that manage their money well will be the ones that can just get that funding into these manufacturers and just lift them up.
I think this is going to be a really competitive season because I mean, because you're going to have drivers who aren't the quickest, but they're able to keep their nose clean and they're able to grind on, like we see with Elizabeth, like we see with Corleone. Then you're going to have other drivers who are quick but they make mistakes, like we see with Torres. And then you're going to have other drivers who might genuinely just be able to realise how quickly they can go and they're able to go quick and able to finish. But then there's also the case of reliability. So many factors to take into account. And as we've seen yesterday and today, sometimes it's not about being the fastest driver, it's just about being able to keep your nose clean and hoping the car doesn't give up on you.
I think that this is going to be very exciting. I think particularly I'm looking forward to Bathurst, not only because it's a brilliant track, but because the endurance aspect of this, we could see an absolute surprise in the results if a team can keep their cars undamaged, can keep themselves and their cars running.
Like we've seen with Lindquist, really. I mean, Lindquist and Corleone could be great in an endurance race. The car needs to be able to finish.
Particularly in race 1, we saw in a race that perhaps one could argue is not even one of endurance. Mariette Boucher had done a pretty much one through keeping that nose clean.
It does looks to be an absolutely wide open season, and at this stage, I honestly could not tell you who's about to win the driver's standing.
Absolutely no chance of making that guess. I think if you're paying money on it, you best be ready to pay up. This could go any manner of ways.
In my genuine opinion, I get the feeling it might be a driver that we probably weren't expecting to see win the series, but they were just able to keep their head clean and they were able to win it. In my opinion, based on what I've seen in the first 2 rounds, that looks genuinely like someone who could win the series.
This is one thing. I think we've seen some drive. I think we talked potentially last time, even though we didn't have the recording, actual coverage of the speaking. We did discuss perhaps Mariette Boucher becoming champion because of how clean that drive was, but we've seen today that
reliability
has got an error there in her. So perhaps, as I said, someone like Lindqvist or Corleone early in the race, I think they have got just enough pace. They've kept it clean so far, and if they continue to do it, I think one of those two, perhaps we could have a champion who's not even won a race. This potentially could happen here.
See, I don't think either Lindqvist or Corleone will win it. I just feel they're good at getting near the podium, but I just feel it's going to be someone who's able to get a couple of victories that's going to take it. I think you have a point with Lindqvist and Corleone keeping their noses clean. I think they might be potentially top 6 or 7 in the series. I don't think either of those will be challenging for the title. We see with Corleone, we see with Lindqvist, they're able to get into kind of near or around the top 5, but to be an actual driving winner, you need to be someone who's able to go on and get podiums and get wins.
Well, what we saw last time was that consistency is what got results. We saw, as we talked about several times during this race, Stoffel Autosport, particularly of Torres last season. One race he was, always like, top 4, fighting for podiums, giving on himself a win. But then every other race he was crashing or breaking down. It's this sort of consistency that is why he only finished 5th in the Drivers' Championship last season, and my Stoffel Autosport, I think, was about 6th. The consistency that I think will be absolutely crucial in getting results. You might not get as many points on some races, but if you can keep that nose clean and get consistent points, as I said, I think it's very well possible we could get someone who's perhaps got 1 or no race wins winning the title. If you saw Perez had a terrible race yesterday in race 1 where he got damage and he lost a lot of time. You saw Boucher, who's had a very clean race 1, won it, completely go and crash very early on. You see, this inconsistency might be the issue that will stop the quickest drivers from winning a championship, and it can mean that perhaps we do have the Corleones, the Lindqvist, perhaps you have a faster car that somehow doesn't manage to win through perhaps a lack of circumstances. I think Vyson was very quick, but if he doesn't win a race this season, if he can keep it consistent, then perhaps he could win a championship with one or no wins at all.
I think there might be a potential dark horse for me. I mean, I know it hasn't quite gone to plan in the first 2 rounds, but David Lester, if the car of reliability fixes up, I think could genuinely be a title threat. He has shown across both races to have the pace to go close. It's just been reliability issues that have cost him.
Well.
In my opinion, it's been 2 reliability issues that have cost him at least a podium.
It will be. I think all we can do is just sit back and really watch what happens. But I do agree, Leicester, I think, could be a dark horse for this championship. And I also will say that as another driver, I think, who's gone onto the race, who's not had the best of weekends. He had a very good race 1, and just sort of disappeared in race 2. But Nikolaev didn't get the best of qualifying sessions, but had a very good race. Got past cars very well, was very clean, had that pace. It's a bit of a shock, I think, that he only qualified 13th in qualifying, because I think there's a lot more pace in that platinum car. But I think we're going to definitely have probably, I know it's a bit, we've had very mix of constructors. I think it's probably going to be one of the Volkswagens or one of the BMWs that will potentially get it. As I said potentially maybe Corleone if he's consistent enough. Perez is obviously a very good driver. Mendes in the BMW. Then you've got Wyson, Torres, Leicester, Nikolaev, all very good drivers, all in very good cars. And unless there's some drop-off in performance, I think any one of them could well be in with a shot.
I mean, if we're going on the BMW point, I'd probably lean more towards a Mendes or Corleone based on the first 2 races. I mean, I know we're going about consistency, and yeah, things didn't quite go to plan for Mendes. I mean, got pole and then kind of dropped the weight. But as we've seen today with Mendes, he was able to get the pace. He in the end nearly caught up to Rodriguez, got a podium. His qualifying pace shows that he's clearly one of the quicker drivers on the grid. So if there was to be a champion out of the BMW car, possibly, obviously, I've already given. If there was to be a BMW champion, it would be Mendes. I just feel the qualifying pace showed he was quick. Didn't quite go to plan in race 1, but he's bounced back here, got a podium. I mean, you could say Corleone for consistency, but Mendes, I just feel, on a going day, has the better pace, and even on a not going day, he was still able to get 6th in the first race. It wasn't terrible.
The issue he faced in the first race, and I think this is the thing that has defined this, I think the second race from the first race, the people, even if you do get a bit of damage, if you avoid making any severe mistakes, if you just knock a bit of the front corner panel in, you're not going to lose as much time. You're not going to lose out in the sprint races. Because in the feature race, we saw your Torres, your Vyson, your Mendes, who were all mega quick, and they lost so much time repairing the damage in the pit lane. Where in the second race, you see Mendes, he still had his front right corner panel smashed in for half the race, and he still came onto third. So I think the dynamics of the feature race and the sprint race are going to be very different. I think that's going to be something that will throw out some surprises. And I also think if it's like this between a sprint and a feature race, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like when we go up to Bathurst.
It looks to be an absolute cracker of a season. Like, so many. At this point, you could probably make a case for half the grid being champion at this point.
I think you well could.
Honestly, at this point, it is wide open as to how many winners we're going to get, which team's going to prove to be the most consistent at getting close. It just looks to be an unpredictable season. Because going into that first race, we saw Mendes on pole in a BMW thinking, yeah, he's going to pull clear, and in the end he finished 6th. And in the end, it was Mariette Boucher who qualified 7th in a row, a car which we didn't think was going to be competitive compared to, your BMWs, your Volkswagens. And in the end, she ended up winning by what was it, like 6 seconds? It was mental.
6.5 seconds.
6.5 seconds. In a car that in pre-season and in qualifying didn't look to be particularly quick. It's just bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers.
We've forgotten something in this race. I think it's gone on. So Hector Rodriguez.
Yeah.
In the Chevrolet.
I mean, yeah, in the Chevrolet, of course. Only 2 teams actually used the Chevrolet.
That's not a particularly quick car. The driver didn't do particularly well in the first race. He's gotten away with that, and I think we'll see. I think a large amount of the grid, even the Audis, if they can get into the points in the first race and do well on the first grid, I think we'll see a lot of different drivers in the podium.
It's at this point, I think most of the well, not most of it. I genuinely think over half of the grid has a chance of winning a race this season, based on pace, consistency, if the reliability fixes up.
Okay, most certainly. I think we do need to probably wrap up now. I think we've probably talked longer than the actual race now at this point. There is.
That's just there's so much to talk about when it comes to the championship, and based on what we've seen at this weekend.
Well, it's definitely going to be a brilliant season. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what most commentators do. Thank yourself, Joseph, and thank yourself, Daniel, for joining us in this commentary. And I think it is about time we do wrap up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do enjoy this race, make sure to join the Discord and follow the races. And we'll be back with Bathurst next weekend. It's an endurance race. So yeah, see you next time. And, thank you for commentators for joining me and helping me out. And yeah, see ya. Bye.